name is Tina Tang, and I am the founder of Iron Strong Jewelry, and we're doing a passion profile with Brenda Swann today. She is a Jill of all trades, and with the primary focus on building things or people, and she loves to lift. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Tina. Thanks for having me.
So we're going to go first to the nitty-gritty facts about you.
Totally. Let's do this.
How old are you?
I'm 37 years old.
And
young, prime, and ready.
Yeah. And I know you've had many jobs. So what are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm actually focusing on building. And what I say by building is that I'm an independent project manager. So I work for different companies, helping them build their human resources base, their office processes, things of that nature. Usually small businesses in the creative spectrum. I come from a creative background, and as well as a business background. So it's a really easy thing for me to go into, and I love it because it, just like being at the gym, I also coach at the gym. It helps me build. It helps me build people, build their dreams, help them accomplish their goals, and that is my favorite thing to do.
In the creative aspect, when you said creatively, give me something specific about how you build.
How I build. Well, for instance, I have a client right now that is also a jewelry business. They make custom personalized jewelry in the geekery spectrum, so like Harry Potter and Doctor Who and that sort of thing. And of course, the women that run this business make jewelry. They're not necessarily office managers or human resource professionals or understand or know exactly how to build their business to be a corporation. So they're starting to grow and have employees, and there's laws in California they have to follow, and none of those things really are what comes to mind when they're coming up with their new designs and their fun things, and putting things out, going to Comic-Con to pass out samples and things of that nature. So building is, okay, here's the process, the procedure, when everybody comes to work, when they get paid, how they get paid, their holiday pay, whatever. So it's building their base for them so that they can continue to do what they want, which is make their jewelry and put it out there for everybody.
Just so everyone will know, where did you get the experience to know how to do that, to advise other people how to build their business?
So I started working back in the day for Sears and Roebuck many, many years ago out of high school. And as Sears and Roebuck grew, because that long ago it was the epitome of retailer and a great corporation, they actually helped build me from there. I got trained there through their store, through their human resources, their assistant. They would send me away to trainings. They would send me away to Chicago, where the main Sears was, headquarters. And it really grew from there. And that really opened up a huge amount of opportunities. As I was going through college, I had experience in the workforce, in the business workforce. And I was able to get really good jobs. I worked for Fortune 500 at one point. And then I got recruited from there to go help another business establish theirs. It really has been a combination of my efforts, and also going through those open doors, the opportunities of like, okay, yeah, I'm 19 and I could be partying, but you know what? I have a boss that's just promoted me. They're sending me away for a week to be trained in business and all the things they want me to do for them. Okay, why not? Let's go. And that's sort of how it all has culminated all these years, just taking every open opportunity to learn and then be able to pass it on to people.
You mentioned you had your own wedding planning business. So
yeah.
Something you were doing just that, and what inspired you to do your own business?
Wow. So in one of the jobs that I've had along the way, I would plan things like employee appreciation days. For this company I worked for, everybody worked really hard, 60, 65 plus hours a week. So we would have family events, picnics, and things of that nature to bring the families in and say, so sorry, we're taking your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother to work so long, but we really appreciate the support that you give us. So from that little bit of planning these tiny little events for this company, it sort of started growing and growing and growing. And next thing you know, I kid you not, I'm planning like my boss's son's wedding. to some French girl who didn't even know how to do a wedding in America. And I was like, I don't even have a boyfriend, but I'll figure it out. And it honestly, it sort of grew from there, because then I loved it. I was helping people. I was finding solutions. There was problems, and I was finding answers and options and negotiating, and all of what I had been doing up until then in a project management spectrum came in handy. It's just in a different arena. And then to be really honest with you, I was doing it every single weekend. So now I was working on the weekends for people's strangers' weddings and in my day job. And my now husband, at the time boyfriend, was like, what are you doing? You need to really figure out a path, because I don't ever see you ever, ever, ever. So help yourself and help me and whatever. And I sat down and put a business plan together, and it took a little bit of time. I was still doing everything as I was putting it together. And then I built this business, and 11 years later, I had, 5 employees and 2 interns and doing events all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah. It was intense, and it was amazing. It was amazing.
And has it just run its course? Is that why you're not?
Yeah, it ran its course. It very naturally, I felt, okay, I've done this. Next. And it's a little bit hard, and I'll be very honest, it's a little hard because I've built some amazing relationships with people everywhere, and I've done so much. And I mean, I'm still friends with the very first official bride I ever had. I know her kids. It's an amazing thing. But yeah, it was like, okay, I need to move on. I need to move on and do something different. And it very naturally worked out that way.
How did you discover lifting, and how does that fit into the picture of your life?
Lifting, I started doing CrossFit a few years ago. I don't know why exactly I started doing CrossFit, because I think it was just actually one of my clients, one of my bride and grooms, they were CrossFitters, and they just invited me to the gym, and I was like, yeah, I don't do that. I run marathons. I run half marathons, but okay, I'll go try it with you, and I went to their gym, and I didn't exactly like it, but it was different, and I had never done anything like that before. So I kind of just kept doing it. And that's how I discovered the movements from lifting and a barbell, and like the feeling that you get when you pick it up. And it was really empowering and really encouraging. And in many ways, besides moving on from the functional fitness, the mental state that you get in when you're trying to do a lift, that can relate back to your life and go, okay, just focus, calm down, get out of your own head, execute well, so you don't hurt yourself. And it just sort of grew from there. And up to a couple years ago, I was just sort of in a place in my life where I was like, now what do I do? And I started just powerlifting, or focusing on powerlifting. Like, okay, let me get really, really good at something. And It's sort of been this amazing journey since then. Incredible. I mean, I never realized I would love it so much. I would be fully dedicated to just powerlifting, but here I am.
Start competing, and why did you just decide that competition was something you wanted to do?
You know what? At the time, I actually had a coach that encouraged me and said, why don't you compete? And it was very interesting, because I've always been one of those athletes that doesn't consider themselves an athlete, if that makes any sense. It's like, oh, no, I'm not good enough for that. I don't, and not because I truly believe that, but it's almost like, no, that's what dedicated people do. That's what those people do. That's what, everyone else does it but me.
Yeah.
And he didn't really push that much, but he was like, I think you should just do it. Just do it. Oh, by the way, I signed you up. and I was like, okay, well, what do I do now? I mean, I didn't even know what weight classes were. I didn't know, and he just said, look, all you have to worry about is lifting. Just go and lift everything we've been practicing, everything you've been doing. Just do it when you're up there, and it's another training day. Okay. And I did. I mean, like I said, I didn't even know the weight class, nothing. I go and I got weighed in, and they're like, oh, you good job, whatever. I was like, oh, okay. I had to look it up 2 years later, what class I was in. And once I started to get serious, and I also earned a gold medal that first time. And it was sort of this high, like, oh, did you see what I did?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked. And then it became a serious thing of like, okay, now I have to really pay attention on how I'm lifting, how I'm learning, what my percentages are, what the pounds and kilos and all these things. And yeah, then there was no looking back. There was just no looking back.
So what, I guess, how much does that occupy, since you have a job too,
Yes.
of your week? So what's, for example, give me your training schedule. So anyone watching will have an idea of how much time you spend doing it.
Right. So I'm super dedicated to the sport now. So I lift 5 days a week, generally Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I spend about 2 to 3 hours of doing everything. When I was working many, many hours in the corporate world, 50 or so hours a week, I would go as early as 5 a.m. I didn't have to be at work till 9. So I'd go from 5 a.m. and I pushed till the very last minute I possibly could, whether that was 7:30 or 8. We specifically live very close to the gym where I train. My family is very supportive of what I do. So again, very, very specific. We're living here because this is where you train. We're doing this because of that. And in my work as well, the work where I was working previously, they were very close. And then once they grew and moved, it was like, I'm going to have to change a few things so that I don't have to move and I don't have to have this hour commute each way, because that is 2 hours away from my day. That's 2 hours away from my lifting. And again, everything in my schedule goes around it. And even when I was doing weddings and I was working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those were the days that we mostly worked. It was also, okay, my staff, I would schedule my staff and my people to work whenever I had to be lifting and training so that they could handle everything until I had to actually show up. So it's definitely been, in order for you to thrive as an individual athlete and also be able to have a life, like most in responsibilities, you really do have to give up, going out happy hours with my friends a lot, with my girlfriends, or you choose. You have to be picky and you have to be choosy so that you can stay focused. It's probably a really long answer, but that's kind of the reality. You kind of just make it work.
It's interesting. That's very dedicated. I don't know if everyone will be in the same place. What is it that makes you want to be that dedicated to it? And do you ever have down days, and how do you overcome that?
Oh yeah, I definitely have down days. Sometimes I have down weeks. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm tired. I don't even, describing what I was describing earlier with the barbell, the sound and the feel. Sometimes I want nothing to do with it at all. It's like, oh my gosh, get it away. Like I can't stand that sound right now. And I can't tell you why it comes up. I don't know if it's worn out or just too much or just need a break, but I have learned with some of the great people that I have around me in lifting and in my regular outside of life lifting. It's like you listen to yourself, listen to your heart, listen to your body. If it's not there and you're not feeling it, don't do it. Don't force it. Because you're not going to actually achieve anything or improve or anything like that. The dedication factor comes from, I really like doing things right and doing them well. There are a lot of people that lift for just an hour. That's all they have, or they have 45 minutes or what have you. And, I'm sorry, but it takes me that long to warm up, properly mobilize, properly. I don't want to be hurt. If I'm hurt, if my body is hurt, I can't lift and I can't do normal things. I can't cuddle with my dogs. I can't hike with my husband. I can't go out and play on the beach with my friends. I can't do anything. So I have to be very deliberate about what I'm going to do. And I take my time warming up. Okay, now I got to go heavy. My coach is really awesome about making sure I have my program ahead of time. So I'm always able to look at it, assess. If I have a deadline at work, it's like I'm not going to be able to do heavy day on that day. I'll have to switch, and I collaborate with him to make sure that I'm not moving my training around too much to have it affect something, because at the end of the day, he's still the coach and he still knows why he did things that way. But that's where the dedication comes from. I can't just go in, lift real quick, do a bunch of squats, whatever, and then I got to go. It does nothing. It does not allow my body to actually be able to go through the entire process it needs to go through. It's kind of like eating. Like you have to sit down, you have to chew, in order to taste the food and enjoy it, and, you have to kind of take that whole in. You can't just swing by somewhere, grab something real quick and eat it in the car as you're trying to pay attention and drive and like do all these things at the same time. And
Yeah.
you know, meals should be the same way as lifting. Take your time, enjoy it, savor it, chew it, let your body do all those things that it's supposed to do. I mean, science, and trust it to know that it has to function a certain way, and you're giving it the best way, the best pathway to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that totally.
Yeah. So I don't like to just, okay, I gotta go and do it, because then it does nothing. You just injure yourself and your muscles don't grow. You end up being sore and hurt, and then you're out for the count.
Yeah. So how does, if everything comes together in your life, how does lifting and what you do in your career, what gives you purpose, and how do they all fit together?
You know, I when I built my business, I had a mission statement, because, you know, I had to do that whole business plan thing. And my mission statement was to encourage and inspire people to have amazing celebrations. And because this business was about celebrating, it fit. And it took me a while to realize that that's kind of what fits for my life in general. Everything is a celebration in whatever way, shape, or form, whether, you know, it's a baby, a lift, graduating college, graduating high school, moving to another country, who knows, whatever it is. Everything is a small celebration for individuals. And I have had nothing but positivity in my life. I mean, of course, all of us have things that are trauma and hurtful and all that stuff. But for the most part, in general, I've had encouragement, I've had inspiration, I've had support. And I just want to be able to give that to other people, because I don't know that I would be where I'm at. So happy. See, I'm going to get all teary-eyed, because I live such a happy life, and I don't have an overabundance of anything other than love and support and encouragement. And I feel like it's my duty to go and give that to other people, and whether it's lifting or business or what have you. And I think in our current culture with women, it's super important for women to love their bodies and know what they're capable of. And the whole lifting thing, for me, it's like, okay, you can go to school, be a business owner, or maybe you're working a job for somebody else, whatever. You can be whatever you want to be, and you can still be dedicated to something and have it help bring out the best in you. It doesn't have to define you, but bring out the best in you, because if I'm happy when I'm lifting, I know that the person next to me is going to be happy when they're lifting, because it's contagious. If I'm upset and I'm growling and being angry or mad or disappointed, they're going to be that, you know? And sometimes you just have people that are next to you that are scared. Like, there's tons of times that I've been at the gym and there's someone that's just scared and they don't know what they're doing or how to do it, or they're afraid to ask for help. And I just go, hey, how's it going? What's up? What are you working on today? I'm Brenda. Nice to meet you. Blah, 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 blah. And then you just encourage them. And then all of a sudden they've had a great day. And the one thing that I was able to, even if they never see me again, I was able to make that day better for them. And who knows what they can accomplish. You have no idea what people can achieve with a little positivity, a little encouragement, a little, you know, inspiration. And that's just, I think that's how my whole life ties together. I want to make sure that I'm spreading good instead of sorrow or regret or any of those things.
That's wonderful. I'm going to end it with you explaining why and how you and your husband are going to do this change of lifestyle with an RV and going cross country.
Oh my gosh. You know, I wish I had a crazy, like, sort of story, but I don't. One day we were just looking at each other, and, you know, there's so many things in life we don't need. You know, we don't need things. We need love. We need companionship. We need friendship, loyalty, all those things. And we were sitting on our couch and we were talking, and like, what are we doing right now? Like, oh, you're just watching reruns or something. Let's go outside and play. Yeah. You know what? We should live in an RV. Yeah. That's a great idea. You want to go look at one? Yeah, I only have an hour because I have to go to work. But yeah, we should just go look at one. And that's literally how we picked up and decided to. Those are my dogs saying hi. And from the moment that we said, okay, let's go look at one, we ended up spending that hour looking at like 20, went back the next day, and then said, you know what, we can live in that. Yeah, we should just sell everything we have, live in it, and then drive it cross country to the East Coast. Okay, I kind of want to get out of California anyway. I mean, you know, let's go experience weather and leaves and cold and yeah, okay. All right, well.
When's that happening?
It is happening over the next 6 months. So we're still responsible adults. We still have to make sure that, sorry about the dogs, that all of our affairs are in order here, our house, work, my training comes, I have one more competition this year in October. So we want to make sure we're not disturbing that kind of process. And again, just, selling things off, making sure stuff's paid off, that our families are well, and any business and work that we have. And that stuff takes time, to do it properly and do it well without just deuces. It feels that way, but it's like, so it's happening in the next 6 months. That's the goal. And we're super
fantastic. Your husband and you sound like you're very well matched. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much for having me and for letting me share. I mean, I'm just a regular person,
but you're not a regular person. I'm going to, don't hang up after I finish this, but
okay.
You can read the transcript for this interview at ironstrongjewelry.com/blog and check back for new passion profiles.
Thank you.